It's just something that just made you really like about being here. It's just a really great place.
I love my job. I really love my job. My name is Audrey Gurley. I've been at Carroll EMC. April the 24th will be 30 years. and there's room to grow here. If you stay long enough, there is room to grow. And I always feel like, you know, when God says it's time for you to move up, that's when you move up. This job came open and I wanted an opportunity because I heard that Carroll EMC was a very prestige company and that's where I wanted to be. And I remember when I first came to work, we had this big computer. I sat right beside it and it made this big noise. Now your computer is this small. So it has really changed tremendous. I never forget the meeting with the CEO. The CEO at the time was Gary Bullock. I hadn't been here less than 6 months, and he said that, you know, one of these days, processing service orders is going to be automated. I said, raise my hand. I said, excuse me, sir, but do I need to go back and get my old job? He said, no, never be afraid of your job here at Carroll EMC. You'll always have a job.
I'm Janet Fruin, and I have worked here for 44 years. My first duty was to put together the employee personnel manuals. That was before the day of copy machines that collated, so all the pages were done by hand and hole punched and put into manuals. We had paper files on all the members when I first came to work here. All the service orders, all correspondence had to be filed in individual file folders. So that was a big part of my job. That process is now all digitized. All of our documents are imaged and nobody has to put anything in a manila file folder any longer. Our dedication to safety has not changed, and our dedication to member service hasn't changed. It's always been member focused. But being able to help them is rewarding, and when something doesn't seem to work right, making it work for the member.
My name is Ricky Huddleston. I've worked at the Carroll EMC for 46 years this coming April. I started as a serviceman in a shop doing tune-ups, brakes, general maintenance on the vehicles and all. We didn't actually have anything for them to ride up on. They would just come by and tell you, hey, my truck needs tires, or the lights don't work, or something like that. So they would just tell you, you know, and you kind of jump on them and try to take care of them that evening, you know, and have them ready for them the next morning. Whenever I started, there was 2 bays, and you could pull a pickup in it and it would fill the shop up, 1 bay up. And then just within the last 2 years, I guess, we've built this big new shop. So it's really been a big change in that part. When we first started, I think we had like 4 bucket trucks, 3 derrick trucks, and about 20 other vehicles. Now, we've got 19 buckets, 9 derrick trucks, and I think there's about 85 other vehicles. So we've got a big fleet that's to be seen after now. Our mapping system used to be on an 18 by 15 by 2-inch thick book. Now you've got it in the palm of your hand on the iPads or the laptops, and you got all the information. You got the consumer's name, their address, their phone number and all. So you got a lot more information there with you with the new maps and all. In a lot of our meetings, we say it's like a big family, but when I come to work here, the people I come to work with were kind of like a father figure. Well, then as I got older, it was kind of like we were brothers. Our CEO now, Tim Martin, he come here as a student and used to work in dispatch back there when I worked on the 2nd shift. And so when we would come in, we'd talk and all like that. So it's been amazing to see his transformation from a student coming to work here to going to CEO. So, well, I think the community involvement is one thing to be proud of. Going to the schools and doing Touch Your Truck days, you know. The kids love to come up and talk to you about the truck and tools you use. They want to put your work gloves on. We used to take a piece of old pole and we would hold it with a derrick truck, and we'd have a guy to put his tools on and climb up and down the pole, you know. Oh, they just love that.
They show them how dangerous the electrical lines are with their little model that they have. That is such an important thing. Children don't realize flying a kite could be detrimental to their well-being. My name is Lori Large, and I've worked at Carroll EMC. This July will be 53 years. The year that I came to work was when they first started having meter readers. It was very few employees working here then. It worked really, really well. It was amazing all the things that took place that was done manually. I mean, keying the meter readings that they sent in and then manually billing is just unbelievable considering that we have as many members as we have today. You just could not do that manually now. Now we have bills that are due every day. Everything just about it is automated. That works really well too because they may be a teacher, they may be somebody that gets paid once a month, and we try to work things around their budget. We've just come a long way. It's just so wonderful, and Carroll EMC has always been on the leading edge of trying new systems and trying new programs and things, pushing us out there for that learning curve to where we were ahead of other people, and we really improved so many things. Once I got here, I realized it was, really smart people that wanted to share their smarts with everybody, and I really liked that. So I stayed.
It's a big family. That's one reason that I love my job the way I do, because of the family atmosphere. My name's David Baskin, worked at Carroll EMC for 35 years. When I came to work here and I met a lot of the people, I knew it was the type of environment that I wanted to work in. I've missed a lot of stuff over my 35 years, birthdays, Christmases, any kind of holidays. Storm comes in, that's top priority. And you can catch that back up at a later date. Felt like one of the biggest storms was a blizzard of '93. We had no four-wheel drive vehicles, none. There was snow drifts that I stepped off in that went over my head. It just shut us down. Now everything's four-wheel drive, so that helps us a lot being able to get our job done. When I came to work here, we had what they call map books. And if you was working the east side of the system and you had to go to the west side, you had to take your map and piece it together to try to figure out where you're going. Now all you gotta do is just pull it up and it tells you where to go. The technology, the equipment that we've got now is so much better than what we had in the 90s.
Our Carroll EMC crews do a lot more work now that we used to use contractors for. Our skill level has increased. We've got the equipment to do those kind of jobs now. We definitely take on a lot more of the tougher jobs, I guess you would call it, than what we used to. My name's Tommy Cook, and I've been at Carroll EMC for 42 years. I started here at Carroll EMC in 1983. My first job was vehicle serviceman. I worked in the vehicle shop, and then in 2019 I was promoted to Vice President of Operations, and that's the role I have now. My first few days at Carroll EMC, I worked with a couple of interesting folks. My first supervisor was J.W. Hale, a legend in Carroll EMC history. So that was a very interesting time, the first few days. J.W. had worked with my grandfather, so he gave me a lot of grief, picked at me and carried on. When I started, we had 5 bucket trucks. Now we have 14. We've grown so much. I think we celebrated our 50-year anniversary in 1986, and I think we were at 25,000 meters then. It took us 50 years to get to 25,000 meters, but then from 1986 to 2006, we doubled. We went from 25,000 meters to 50,000 meters. We really have steady growth, so as we've grown, our workforce has grown. We're larger than what we used to be, and it's always interesting to see how things seem to be changing every day, and how we've got new people coming on board, new roles coming on board, and doing a lot of fun things that we've never done before.
Happy 90th anniversary, Carroll EMC.